from like a recruiting perspective, that is always a big lever when you're persuading people to come work with you, especially people that really understand your industry. If you're really unique within the industry like you guys are, then that person that understands the industry can understand what's so unique about you, and they're either interested in that or not. And so that seems to be what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? The truth of the matter is like as a team, a real estate sales team structure, we're really not that unique, but it's about painting your uniqueness into it, right?
Yes.
We're trying to demonstrate how unique we are. Like the fact that you think you're mentioning that we're unique just means I've done a good job conveying to you over the years that we've worked together how amazing I think the opportunities here are, right? And it's not that we are any different than 90% of the real estate sales teams out of there that follow like the real estate sales team handbook. And basically Gary Keller wrote that book on Millionaire Real Estate Sales Agent, right? That is not really like, we're not that different from that. Are we bigger than most? Yeah. And do we have expansion teams? Sure. But like when you boil it down and you're an agent joining our team, very similar, right? Very similar feel, very similar structure. But now I can go paint a difference between a team and a brokerage, and I can avoid having the brokerage versus team like splits conversation, right? Compensation conversations can change because of the way that we're painting our uniqueness in the market.
Love it. That's good for everybody to kind of consider right now, right? If you're in an industry that's like highly saturated, which is a lot of direct to consumer industries, home improvements, solar, insurance, real estate, right? There's a million companies. And if you're proactively recruiting, one of the most important things that you can do in the recruiting process is show that you're completely unique from the marketplace. In reality, there's not going to be that much uniqueness. So you got to find something and build that value into your pitch. So let's transition into like the pitch and communicating your opportunity, which you're a freaking master at, right? So the notes that you gave before the podcast, you're like the frame of the interview, communicating like compensation expectations, the sacrifice and those kind of things. So, in terms of persuading people into an opportunity and showing you uniqueness or whatever shows a candidate enough to make them want to work for you, like what comes to mind for you, Michael?
I think that it's important. Like, I think the important things that I try to make sure I convey to the people applying for positions in our company are the fact that people have done it before, right? So like you're not going somewhere no one's been before, right? And the idea between the habits and skills that you have in your life today and what it's going to take you to get to the place where you want to be. Because even if you know how to go and produce an income, but you are no longer producing that income based on your current activities, because maybe the market changed. Well, now we need to say, okay, well, someone moves my cheese is in a different spot. I got to go find it again, right? So that means I'm back to learning. I'm back to building the habits and skills necessary to continue to grow, right? And so for us as a company, we're constantly evolving, learning and growing and changing, improving, I should say, maybe not changing, but like tweaking the model in which we operate. So it's important to lay out let's build upon the habits and skills that you have as an agent or as a future prospect, right? Someone that might become licensed and grow from there. So that's like the first thing that I like to convey. The next thing I like to convey is like, it is hyper important that everyone understands that we are in the type of relationship where we both have to be committed to growing and helping each other grow. It's never anybody's responsibility to hold themselves back in that type of relationship, right? Like my job is to get as big and grow as fast as I can. And their job is to continue to grow and get as big as they can. And together the opportunity is going to continue to grow. And so at any point, if someone outgrows us as a company, right, and we no longer can provide bigger opportunities to help them continue to grow within their framework, then it's their responsibility to leave our company and go somewhere else, right? But because we believe that, because we have the belief that it's never anyone's responsibility to hold themselves back, we are constantly expanding and growing as a company so that we can open bigger doors for the people that we bring into the company. So that's why we don't just have agents, but we have like a sales agent kind of group, right? Where it's like you come in as a sales agent on our team, and then you become a coach and you coach a group of sales agents. And then you go from coaching a group of sales agents, so we help you open up an office, and then you open up and run that office and we help you do another one, or whatever that framework looks like, right? We've done that kind of thing over and over again already. And so it's like there's constant room for growth as we find the right kind of the talent to bring into the company and grow that way. So if that's where you want to go, we'll throw dollars behind you to help you get there, as long as you're continuing to push yourself, just like we're continuing to push ourselves, right? And then I think it's important to be really realistic on what the opportunity is and what it isn't, and what people should expect from the opportunity in like a general sense, right? And then framing out the difficulties or sacrifices, right? I call them sacrifices to get there. And once you've laid that all out, that framework, it should be in a way where they're so already sold into the opportunity and the idea that whatever you say is the sacrifice will not matter to them.
Yes, because you've pitched it so well. They're like, whatever the sacrifice is, it's like, if I ain't gonna make money for 6 months, that's all good because it sounds worth it.
Right. And also, it's not that they're not going to make money for 6 months. They're going to be investing. People go to school for a decade to become a doctor, right? They go to school for a decade. And people think that like, man, 3 months without a check is a sacrifice. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not compared to a decade and $500,000 in student debt. Like that's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And like the average doctor in Arizona, like the typical doctor, he's going to make pretty close to like what a top performing agent on our team is going to make, if not possibly less as the doctor, right? Yeah. And so it's not that big of a sacrifice when you frame it right. But when someone's like, oh, real estate takes 3 to 6 months to start producing consistent income, and then it probably takes a year to 2 to start producing big income, and then
so there's a bunch of gold that stuck out. I want to just do a quick recap. Thanks for sharing all this. This is awesome stuff. One of the things, and this is not always doable until you have the team yet, right? They've built a really amazing organization. They have tons of successful reps, so they have people succeeding in the role already. But one of the things that he presents in his recruiting pitch, whether it's done in a group, a phone interview, via messaging, whether it's recapped in a final interview, he's communicating that, hey, one of the things that's unique about this organization is people are already doing what you're saying you want to do. We have reps consistently making 80, 160K, 300K per year. We know exactly what it looks like to see success here. We have the systems for it. Not only do we have the foundation for it, but there's reps actually doing it. So one of the things important for you is we're doing it and we know how to take you to where these people are, right? So from a persuasion perspective, once you have people, or if you have people today succeeding in the role, you got to lean on the fact that you've made people successful or provided a path for them to be successful to help the persuasion aspect of your recruiting process. And if you don't, now you just got to be transparent about it. And once you start to have successful people, you want to add that into your recruiting pitch. Another thing that stuck out too is, one of the things that he communicates is, when you work at this organization, we're going to be working with you to develop and improve your habits and your skill sets so that your habits and skill sets as a professional predictably result into the success that you want. Okay. Because you don't just show up and be whoever. You need to be the person with the right habits and skill sets that actually gets the result that you desire for your life, whether that's 80K or 300K, and ABC type of life experience. So he communicates that we're an organization that is going to teach you and lead you through having the right habits and skill sets, right? So from a candidate's perspective, they're starting to get more clarity that the leadership and structure seems to be in a way that they're going to give me all the tools that I need for success, if that makes sense. Another thing that stuck out, he's communicating like, hey, our organization, we're freaking blowing up, right? Now we're at 12 markets, right? Just a few years ago, we were here. We're going to continue to scale across the US, and we want to work with people, professionals that want to grow. We're never going to hold you back from growth. We're a growth-oriented organization, and we're looking for people that don't want just the bare minimum out of life, that want to just pay their bills, but that want to grow and build a career out of this industry or something like that.